Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Conversation Show, the Emerging Lawyer Series, powered by the Emerging India Forum, TEIF, Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, India Business Group, IBG, Indian Chamber of International Business, ICIB, and our tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Today's theme is legacy planning. It's not as difficult as you think. Our host, and your host for the day today, and I'm Amir over here. So our speaker is Jahnavi Kohli. She is partner at ANB Legal, handling private client practice. In a career spanning over a decade and a half, she had the privilege of working in traditional law firms, which have provided her the grounding experience and expertise by grasping 360 degrees of the fusion between law and commerce, which has helped her to develop a dynamic and integrated approach. She has also done a stint in Hong Kong, which has provided her with the necessary vision to work in multicultural environments and be a global lawyer. She has also authored several articles on law. So we have Jahnavi and look forward to legacy planning, which is very important in today's time. And pandemic has reflected us to plan on our wealth transfer and inheritance planning. So today's topic will give more insights. So welcome, Jahnavi, to our Coffee Conversation Show.
Thank you so much, Naveen. Thank you.
Yeah. So let me explain to you format.
Yes.
We have 3 rounds. One is a professional journey round. Second is a personal journey. And third one is a surprise round. That is a rapid fire.
Okay. That's fun.
Yeah.
I've never been a part of such an interaction, so I'm looking forward.
Yeah, me too. And our viewers also will look forward. So, yeah, we begin the professional journey round. So, Jahnavi, how has been your journey till date in the legal industry?
So I would, like in one word, I think it's been great. There have been a lot of lessons, but no regrets. I started practicing straight out of college, but I started my internship when I was in second year law. And I work typically with traditional law firms. I don't know, in Bombay, there's a system of the solicitor's exam. So I even articled, I gave the exam, I had to sit for an hour. And yeah, so that's how it's been. And it's been a long journey, but it's been a good journey.
Okay.
I would say that today I'm satisfied with where I'm at, which is a good thing to be. There's lots more to do, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jahnavi, when did you shift to Hong Kong, and how was your experience? Let me complete 2 parts. So
sorry,
you can continue. So I don't know where I started there. So we're looking for, when did you shift, when you started working in Hong Kong, it was during your initial career days. And how was the experience working in a new country and in the legal industry?
So to be very honest with you, my move to Hong Kong was, I would say, in the middle of my career, but I did not actively practice in Hong Kong. I moved for personal reasons, and I did not have a license to practice, I didn't practice. So at that time, I started writing legal articles and research-oriented and advisory roles. So that's what I did. Whatever I didn't want to, obviously, I took a step back from active practice, but I didn't want to let go of the profession, of course. So I did what I could do at the time, which was legal research, legal writing, articles, advisory. I was there, but I met a lot of people there professionally and otherwise, and I got to, it's a melting pot, Hong Kong. So I'm very grateful I got to spend time there, because now when I'm back here and practicing here, that, any time you spend outside helps you, gives you a more holistic approach to working, and more you appreciate different cultures, different people, you understand their mindsets, where they're coming from. Having lived in Bombay my whole life, I already had a very open mind, but moving abroad opened it even further to that extent. And just respecting professionalism and small things like being on time and respecting time and things like that, deadline. So all of that was good learning.
Yeah. So my next question will be, Jahnavi, you have worked with in a multicultural environment with different mindsets. How have you been successful in managing a working relationship while you were in Hong Kong and now back in India? You're also different mindsets, different cultures. People are working in a law firm or in a corporate legal. So, what advice would you give to maintain a healthy working relationship?
I think patience. Patience and more patience because you have to work with, in our field we have to work with people a lot, so you have to be patient and tolerant and understand where they're coming from, where be able to bring them around to your point of view without keeping the end goal in mind. So that helps when you have, like, the more exposure you have, the more you're able to learn these skills, people skills.
Very good. So now you have worked in different areas. So now, how has the legal industry in India has evolved according to your experience, right from the days of your internship to now where you are as a partner at ANB Legal?
I think things have changed because people's outlooks have changed. The technology has become so huge. The gestation periods for careers. People are looking for shorter gestation periods. People are looking for speedier solutions. So there's a lot of positives, a lot of good change. So I think that things are changing and they're changing for the better, I would think.
Very good. My next question will be on legacy planning, succession planning. So when should one plan out their succession planning, legacy planning, and what key factors they should look into it when they are planning something to give to their inheritors, according to you?
I think, according to me, legacy planning should start as soon as you have, you start building your assets, because it's important, and what you need to have in mind is your long-term goals for how you would like your assets to devolve, and what futuristic goals you have for yourself and your family or your assets. The sooner the better is what I think. I think with COVID-19, a lot of this whole concept of legacy planning and all became all the more important, because people suddenly realized that anything can happen to them at any time. So that brought about a lot of urgency, I would say, in people's minds and in their thinking. And either earlier there was this whole attitude like there's time, there's no need to rush these things, because these can be unpleasant or difficult subjects to think about the eventualities. But I think now people are becoming more practical, understanding that being practical today, taking the right steps today can help you mitigate problems of the future.
So in this, when they're doing planning, there will be various beneficiaries. So like cousins, like their children, and what about they want to give to some organizations. So what do they have to keep in mind while they're making a plan of legacy planning? Because there will be assets, there will be liabilities, and there will be now digital assets also. So how do we keep what should go to whom, and what is the role of a lawyer in this thing, who can help them to plan out what will go to them, and first thing, the planning thing. I just want to understand what is the role of a lawyer in the planning, because now different types of assets have come up. So how does one make this plan? What should we go to whom? So the role of a lawyer.
Yeah. So thank you. That's a nice, good question. But so as a lawyer, what I would want to highlight is, of course, the legalities. So I would want to understand my client, what they want, because they may have something in mind, but they may not know in the legal framework how to make that thing happen. So that is where I would come in to explain to them how I wouldn't be in a position to tell them who to give what to. I wouldn't want to, and I wouldn't be able to either. But I will be able to advise them as to how the the planning can happen and how they can give them options for how they can plan, depending on and keeping their their fears also in mind, and keeping their ambitions in mind as to how they want their assets um, to devolve, because they may not, maybe they want to keep it in a trust to be for safekeeping in the future. Maybe they want to give it directly to the heirs. Maybe they don't want to give it to family members and they want to, like you said, to give it to charity. Maybe a part of it to charity and a part of it. And also to explain to them that they can, that whilst they are alive, whether they can change those plans. And because if you're entering your legacy planning very early in your life, then you may change your mind. So keeping in mind those kind of exigencies and that sort of flexibility, so that their planning doesn't go against their future goals.
Mhm. Okay. What about the digital assets?
So digital assets also, they would it would apply the same way as any other asset. So even things like, I would say, like nominate, like, and also I feel like there's a lot of gray areas in people's mind, not so much in the law, like about nomination and final legacy passing. So, the difference between the two, because sometimes people just believe, oh, I have nominated this flat, so and so, but that is not the case. You have to have a will in place. You have to, or you make, and the difference between gifting something in your lifetime as opposed to giving it away later, or, if you want someone to have a life interest in an asset and you want it to pass on eventually to another. So all those kind of things.
Uh, my next
When it
question
comes to
is,
digital, I think there is a little, of course, digital assets and everything digital is a reality today.
yeah,
But I think that is an evolving reality for all of us as we see things, the government and regulations and how they are going to be treated and everything. But definitely, there's going to be more and more assets in the digital world as we start exhausting things in the real world.
yeah, because the passing on of the account, the digital account, digital assets, like someone has built commendable this on Instagram and built a sizable following, everything is there. A lot of revenues are coming from there. So how does that? Because the transferring of the rights from the earlier person to the beneficiary. What
Yeah.
will the Instagram your team transfer those things to the new account holder?
So the way I see it, when it comes to your social media, I wouldn't call it an asset, but the following or your creation, that for that also there would be a mix of IPR there, because that's basically creative the design and things like that. So that would also fall under intellectual property. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. That is why when like what we say, what we define it as private client, but we're looking at many different aspects of the law, because a person will have different assets, different concerns, which will require advice from sometimes a tax angle, sometimes a real estate angle, sometimes IPR, very often corporate as well, and sometimes a mix of all of that.
Yeah. Now, my next question will be, Jahnavi, what is a will, then a probate, and the letter of administration for because a will is made, then we hear about probate, then we hear about letter of administration. So many things. एक will तो बन गया, then उसके बाद the
So
legal
to
heirs
give it,
को इतने सारे difficulties आती है कि भाई
yeah,
किसी भाई will मिल गया यानी मैंने asset का owner बन गया. So let's clear those ye misconceptions they have, the beneficiaries, legal heirs. what is the will, what is this probate, and what is this letter of administration. Also, I've heard something about this also.
Yeah, so your will is basically your testamentary document by which a person gives his writes down how his last wish basically. So that also there people come with quite a few. All you require is two witnesses. You appoint an executor and you write down how you want your assets to be distributed. Now, once a person is the will becomes effective after the death of a person, not from during their lifetime. So once this person is no more, then the will has to be executed to give effect to that will. So that's when you go to the court and you file for a probate. So it's a relatively straightforward process. You file for a probate. The people who witness the will be called in. They just have to file an affidavit to say that we were there. This person was of sound mind and he signed the will in our presence, and both the persons are present at the same time. And then the court does its inquiry, and within a period of a year, maybe more, because we have a lot of backlog in the court, so it takes a little bit of while, and then you get your probate. And that is the final, it's like a sanction from the court certifying that the bill is valid. So at that time, the court gives people a chance to file a caveat, which is basically an objection. In which case, so anyone can object saying that this is, we're objecting to this because this will is a false will or whatever reason. And at that time, then it becomes a long suit, and then you have to, it goes into trial and all of that, which becomes a very long drawn out procedure. But just getting a probate without any contest is relatively straightforward. And letters of administration, like you asked, is when there is no executor, or that is when there is no will, then you file for a letters of administration for again for an order from the court to allow the beneficiaries or the executor to execute to distribute the estate of the deceased, either through intestacy or by the will.
Yeah. So good insights you have shared about this legacy planning. But as we are having a coffee conversation, so we mix with the topic as well as your journey. Moving forward to my this conversation, according to you, what is the secret of having a client relationship management?
I think trust, comfort, and it takes time to develop that trust and that comfort. I think that is very important. That is the most important thing, and to be able to gain the client's trust and to give them speedy advice, because people are anxious, they want answers, they don't know the law, they don't know the intricacies. Everybody loves to give, friends, relatives give advice. It may be right, it may be wrong. So to be able to get their trust and to explain things to them patiently and answer all their questions to their satisfaction.
Some sweet memories you have dealing in your this legal career of which have left a mark on you?
I think I have very sweet memories. I made a lot of good friends in the profession. Early days going to court, and I used to remember waiting for the board. At that time, everything wasn't so digitized, so you would have to go there to watch the board, and it would take. And sometimes I would get very, wasn't very happy doing it. But now when I look back, it was fun because you really got to see how things are done, and you understand the nuances of how, and that used to give me an opportunity to watch seniors argue and how how the courts would respond to arguments and things like that. So I think all good memories, many good memories.
Yeah. So now technology has come into the legal industry. So how has it impacted the working of a lawyer?
So for me, I think the most obvious, and this may be the most basic technology, but video calls. Which I personally started really using during COVID, and the kind of ease that it brought in terms of, just working and saving time and saving travel time, saving all, it came in at a disadvantage, but it turned out to be something that we still hold on to. Like even today, we are speaking remotely, but it feels like we are together. Another thing, and then there are softwares that have come in for lawyers which are like, I have heard about these drafts that can be just created by feeding in certain data. I, of course, personally don't use them because we still like, we as lawyers, we still want to draft everything from scratch. And then there are that kind of enabling software for lawyers. Then research tools, online research tools are well. That's another thing that I think we use a lot of. So yeah. And then there's this whole talk about these those bots, those robots that are, taking the place of lawyers and all. But then recently there was a case where it gave us some wrong case law, and so I think the technology cannot drive us. We have to drive the technology, and I think then it will work. If we get overpowered by machines, I don't think it will be that good thing. And plus, human, like you asked me, what is the most important thing? When I said trust, you can develop a lot of ease with our phones, with our computers, all of that. But at the end of the day, we're human beings. So human contact is, I think, imperative for our practice.
Yeah. Who has been your mentor in shaping your career?
I think I've been very fortunate because I think every team I've worked with, all my seniors may not have gone out to mentor as such, but have ended up shaping and influencing me in ways that are, everlasting. So, things that you want to emulate, things that you don't want to emulate. So I think our profession, we get to work with a lot of, you start off very early. So you get to work with people who are senior, and it's a constant learning. Nowadays, I feel you learn a lot from people who are just passing out also, because they have a different approach, because they have grown up with technology like we haven't really. I mean, we have, but not at the speed at which in the last 10 years things have changed. So I think I've had a lot of people. I don't think I can name anyone in particular. But
my next question is about internship. Okay, how important is doing an internship adds value to in starting your career?
I think very important, because now I do believe that a lot of the law courses that are available are mandated internships, but I think with or without that, and I think the motive behind the internship should not just be to tick that box that you have to complete, so many internships in your degree course. It should be actually to go out there and learn. It can help a lot. And at that time, you have all the time to learn. You're there just to learn. You're a student. So I think soak in as much as you can as an intern, and no work is small or big, like whatever, whatever. Because even I have felt it sometimes doing things that may seem like very routine or whatever, but in hindsight, it all realize how important it is.
Wow. So students first start with doing an internship and then start your career.
Yes.
Will help you in making a decision what to do next.
Yeah. I also have heard of people who are, who get an opportunity if they're lucky enough to work with a law firm or a lawyer before they've even decided if they want to do law. So because it gives you more insight. So I think it's nice to take that opportunity.
Now we are seeing law students going out for different types of in legal internships, like for content writing is there, and for social media, and for designing, for legal technology. We have got various legal interns working in a company as doing research for legal technology thing, for making content, for making designs. So that is the legal interns now have broadened their horizons. They're not sticking to one by contract drafting, making agreements, all those things, transactions, data privacy, but they're looking out for careers which satisfies their passion also. Yes. So today's interns are more advanced using technology and all those things, and they know what they want and where they want to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So my last question for your professional journey will be: how do you strike balance between being a team player and being a leader in your role as a partner at this law firm?
So strike a balance is what you're asking.
Yeah, strike a balance. Yeah.
So to answer you, I don't feel like I need to balance the two because being a team player comes before whatever designation you may be carrying or whatever position you have. At the end of the day, you are part of a team, and every part of the team is equally important. And as a leader, you're just maybe a little bit uh, guiding. But other than that, I don't see having to strike a balance because being in a team come first, and then being a leader and the rest. I don't see a dichotomy between the two. I see them as one and the same thing.
Very good. So we go to the next round. Jahnavi, memories of at your law college.
Law college. A lot of, I think, cramming before the exams, like late night studying, and then wasting time during the term, to be honest. But then that's why I say internships are very important. So a lot of self motivation to stay on track and to keep your goal in mind to get into a good law firm. Or to
Okay.
college days are fun.
How do you de-stress yourself? Because working in a law firm or in corporate legal, there is a lot of pressure of time, everything, deliverables. So how do you de-stress yourself?
I think very mindful, like very mindfully and very purposefully taking out maybe 1 hour in a day, if not more, for something that de-stresses you, like be it exercise, any form of exercise, or reading non-work related things, or cooking, or spending time with the family, anything, but doing it with that intent to de-stress.
Wow. Any hobbies you have still from your childhood you have carried on?
I was very creative. So I used to be very fond of painting. I still am. To be very honest, I don't remember the last time I mean, it's been a while since I last picked up a paintbrush or whatever, but that's something every weekend I think I will do, but I haven't. So maybe this weekend I hope that I do.
They're inspiring you. This conversation inspiring to go back to painting.
Yeah.
So we'd like to come and see your painting.
Nice. I would love that. I'll share it. If not
Yeah.
personally, I can share it with you on
Okay.
social
Thank
media now. Everything is social media.
you. Yeah. Okay. Who's your biggest supporter in life?
Oh, I think my family.
Mhm. Among your family, whom are you closest to?
So I think my mother and my daughter. So I'm in between the two of them. Yeah, both of them.
Your female power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, what has your mother? Some things she must have told you, which you remember when you were in a stressful condition.
She still says it, and she's always to stick to your path and just do what you have to do and just stick to your path, and the results will follow, or what has to happen will happen, but just stick to your path. Because today we live in a world of distractions. So I think
Hmm.
on a daily basis, we are distracted by what other people are doing or what is happening around us. Or so it's becoming harder to do that. But I mean, life is, I'm sure, stressful for every generation, but uh, these times are also stressful. So
Okay.
stick to your path.
Wow. This your mother has told you. Now, I'll. This is something which has come up and will surprise you. What one line or message would like to give to your daughter, which she will remember in when she starts working in her career?
I think it would be to not doubt herself
Mhm.
and to to know what she wants and to go for it without doubting herself. And of course,
Wow.
work hard and all of that. But I think that's one thing because it's important to be your own cheerleader. To
Wow.
be a, yeah.
Okay, so we'll share you this precious moments. This will be shared with you, which you can pass on to. What's her name?
Adya.
Wow.
So actually, that time in Hong Kong, also when I said personal reasons, she was very little. So at that time, I also got that chance to be with her, and then I've been lucky enough to, resume mainstream practice, and that it was different coming back. But that few years when she was very small, I got to be with her, which I'm very happy for.
Wow. So now, how do you maintain or your secret of work life and your family life?
Work life and family life. See, I think a lot of it has to be with I've had like my team also right now very supportive. So, and I think sticking to getting things done sometimes, not being very straight-jacketed about how things have to be, being flexible, and making time for both the things and giving with equal sincerity and just taking sometimes each day at a time. Because every day comes with different challenges and somehow the day passes and it's good.
Anything you want to do which will make you happy?
It will make me happy. Do. That will make me.
Or your bucket list?
My bucket list. Being a learn a new language. I want to be able to. It's very important. When you talk about multicultural, I feel language is so important. You know a person's language, it's almost like you know them because that comfort just comes in. I think if I could learn different languages, at the snap of a button, it would be very useful. It breaks barriers.
What about a bucket list?
Bucket list. So many items on my bucket list.
Have you seen the movie of Madhuri Dixit?
Which one?
Madhuri Dixit ka on Netflix bucket list ka. I don't remember the name.
I think I know which. I may not know. I don't want to guess the wrong movie.
Yeah, I also. That's why. Yeah.
Now there's so many
very
movies
good
come
movie.
out.
Very the importance of having a bucket list and working on this bucket list.
Yeah, absolutely. Goals and having goals and setting goals and achieving them, however small, not about size or anything. Well, something that is something important to you. Because today it's relative. Everything is relative. Your own bucket list.
So, from the bucket list, which would one thing you would like to, which will be very close to your heart, and you would like to do it within this year?
Within this year, I think this year my goals are quite profession oriented. So I would like to have a great year professionally. This I think is this interaction with you is a bucket list item which I didn't even know that I had, but it's nice that this has come along also to share my journey. But I think this year professional bucket list, professional goals are pretty high on the list.
Okay, so our best wishes, and thank you for putting this conversation in your bucket list. Okay, sharing your journey, having a conversation. Thank you for that. My last question for your personal journey will be: describe Jahnavi in one line.
Reliable. I think I'm reliable.
Okay, then I'll remember you as RJ, Reliable Jahnavi.
Okay, that's fair. RJ is nice.
RJ. Okay, friends, we're coming to our surprise round.
Okay.
So we have to answer very quickly. That's why rapid fire. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Wow.
Yes, cheers.
Coffee. That's coffee with K.
Okay, yeah, coffee with K.
Show name is also K. Coffee conversation.
Yes.
Seafood or Indian food?
Seafood or Indian food? Indian seafood.
Indian seafood.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Your favorite Hindi movie?
दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे.
Okay. How many times have you seen that?
So many times. I think I feel
can see
embarrassed
that
now,
in
but
your eyes.
13, 14 times I must have seen it.
You'll have to beat record of Maratha Mandir.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I think it's still running.
Yeah, it's still running. It's still
Still
running.
running. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Western or Indian dress?
Both. Honestly, both.
Okay. Yeah. Indoor person, outdoor person?
Outdoor.
Okay. Your favorite city?
Mumbai. Home. Bombay.
Okay, I'm Mumbai. So we come to the end of this rapid fire also. So friends, it was a lovely conversation from the heart. So many things she shared about herself. She gave a message to her daughter also, Adia. So Adia, do watch this coffee conversation and subscribe to this one and record that what your mother said. It will help you whenever you are feeling low. Your mother is talking to you. This is
Thank you
she's
so much.
sent from the heart. And friends, do look out. Do watch this coffee conversation. You will get to understand more about legacy planning, and we will connect with Jahnavi again in our mini coffee, where we'll have separate questions on the legacy planning. This surprise I'm sharing with you.
Lovely. Oh,
Yeah, because it's a very important topic,
yeah, very important.
which is needed.
Yeah.
And do look out for another coffee conversation episode with another subject expert. Stay safe and enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Jahnavi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.